Eminent Gold has just resumed drilling at its Hot Springs Range project in Nevada, following up on their maiden program that hit gold in all three initial holes. The project sits just 15 kilometers from Nevada's prolific Getchell Trend, and today we're speaking with Chief Geologist Dan McCoy about what's next. So we're going to bring you in now, Dan. You're calling this an emerging gold discovery, but so far there's been just 3 holes drilled so far that intersected gold. How should investors be evaluating the risk reward here at this early exploration stage?
I think you need to go back and see how early it actually started with. The concept of the HSRP project really started in university, at the University of Nevada, Reno. And just so happened that 2 of the best Carlin-type researchers, a fellow named John Muntean and a fellow named Mike Russell, were professors there at the time. They were explorationists and also professors. 2 of their students took what they were saying, and what they were saying is that the reactivation of faults that host Carlin gold deposits happened over and over. These faults were there before the gold came, and the faults continued to react afterwards. And so they used a very simple technique called, just air photo evaluation. And what they did was they looked at the Getchell Trend and they found air photos from before the Getchell Trend was mined, way back from the 80s. There was a Getchell pit, but otherwise there wasn't any of the other deposits. And they looked and they saw that they could see these northeast structures, even where the host rock wasn't present and where there was post-mineral cover. So they were like, well, the Hot Springs Range has the exact same orientation as the north part of the Osborne Range. They're both northeast oriented. Why hasn't there been any exploration done at the Hot Springs Range? And they looked and they saw that they could see these same structures. And this is really interesting because now that we've done gravity, we can see that these structures are deeply penetrating. So they're not just like surface structures, they're deeply penetrating. We started out with no samples, no geophysics, no anything, not in this area. This only thing that's been produced in the Hot Springs Range has been mercury. And we think that might be unrelated to what we're doing. Not sure about that. But so at any rate, here's these northeast structures, and there's just a little bit of a good host rock peeking out. What you're looking for in host rocks in the Getchell Trend is you're looking for volcanics and you're looking for carbonate rocks. There's just a little bit of this sticking out. We did soils and rock samples on it, and lo and behold, out of nowhere came 3-gram gold. So we did geophysics on it, and it proved the model that we have both northeast faults and intersecting northwest faults. We drilled and we hit on blind target on all first 3 of our holes. Mm-hmm. So at every step of the way, this project has delivered what we're saying it's going to deliver. Why do we call it an emerging gold district? Well, I think what I just said was basically can be summed up the following way. Now that we have the gravity, we see that these northeast faults have the same kind of extensive strike length that the northeast faults in the Getchell Trend have. And we're also seeing these northwest structures that intersect them. And the only place that we had that wasn't completely covered with post-mineral basalt or alluvium was the place that we drilled. So we really think that this is an emerging gold district, and I can't say that it's going to equal the Getchell Trend. I don't think it has to equal the Getchell Trend for our market cap to see a boost. But I really think though that we're onto something. I think we got a tiger by the tail.
Well, you've announced drilling, as mentioned, specifically at the Otis target. What are you hoping to learn from these 2 holes, and how do they fit into the broader exploration strategy at HSRP?
I think what we're trying to do with these 2 holes is that was different from the first drilling thing is we're trying to hit an intersection with the northwest fault that's to the east of where we've been drilling. So fault intersections, of course, are the best. It's great to have these long northeast corridors or long northwest corridors. I mean, that's the interesting thing about Carlin deposits. They're both. There's both northwest trends and northeast faults. So where you find these structural intercepts, particularly at Turquoise Ridge, you're looking to go out on these northeast trends and then find some intersecting structure. It can be a fold, it can be a fault, but some kind of intersecting structure. And that's where the gold tends to blow out. So our test with the hole that we're currently starting is to test this northeast Otis structure where it's going to hit this northwest little Humboldt structure. And, obviously we're looking for a blowout there. We're hoping to beat our previous drill holes as far as the intercepts go. Mm-hmm. And the last hole we have planned, we don't have an exact direction, because the value of being a junior company is you could be flexible, you can move fast. And so we're going to look and see what the results of the hole number 5 is before we drill hole number 6, because the first hole was aborted. But so at any rate, it's really our 4th and 5th holes as far as going deep. And so the 5th hole, what we want to do is we're able to use a pad that we weren't able to use in the wintertime. It was just too steep, too high. Now here in the fall time, last program we started in early December. So now we basically are going to start up on top of this pad and come back and drill at a pretty much a right angle to the holes that we've been drilling so far. We're hoping this is going to reveal other structures and maybe give us, bigger thicknesses on our mineralization.
Yep. Well, for investors who are trying to understand your value proposition, how do you see the project stacking up against other Nevada gold projects, as there are many, in terms of size potential, infrastructure access, and of course, path to development?
Well, I've been asked this. I've been doing this for 40 years, and it's an interesting question, because when I worked for a big company, I knew what all the other juniors were doing. When you're running your own junior company, you don't have a lot of time to look at what other people are doing. It's the best thing. I think we've got the best thing, certainly the best early stage Carlin project that I've had the ability to look at. And, just in the sense that we're both validating the model as we go along and also revealing how big this could be, that this really could truly be a new district.
Well, in terms of validation, Kinross Gold took a nearly 10% stake in Eminent, and they've also got a seat on your technical committee overseeing this whole exploration program. How significant, is this validation here, and what does their involvement mean for the project moving forward?
Well, like I was saying to someone today, sometimes luck comes in the form of drill holes, and sometimes it comes in the form of relationships. And I feel really, really good about our relationship with Kinross. One person I've known for a long time who's on their technical committee. The other one is one of the best Nevada geologists that I've met. So his name is Josh Ellis. Patty Capistrant is the person I've known. So they're the two people on their technical committee, and they were the ones that recommended the gravity. And I had been thinking about doing that, and they came in and said, yeah, do it and get it interpreted by this guy. So not only are we getting funding from them, but we're getting all kinds of great advice from them as well.
Okay. Well, listen, we're going to have to keep watching Eminent. Always a pleasure to have a geologist here on our show. So thank you, Dan, for making the time today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's EMNT, guys, on the stock exchange. Full tickers, though, are below for you. And of course, you can always go to our website to understand what people might be saying about the company at any given day. Thanks for watching.